Hello everyone. Today I want to share my experience and the loot from 100 runs of Tier 1 Electrical Abyss in Solo Frigate. This is the second video I'm making about running Tier 1 Abyss in Frigate, so I will reference the first one and compare some results. This time I was aiming to collect all the loot, not just bioadaptive cache. At the end of the video we'll see if it was worth it. For these runs I chose Retribution as my ship. For most of my time playing EVE, I mainly used drones and missiles, because of their simple mechanics. I've tried turret weapons as supplementary damage before, but it always felt bad for me. So this was my first time seriously playing with turrets as my primary and only source of damage, and I loved it. Now that I have all the basic turret skills trained to level 5 and solid feet with good damage and proper tracking, it feels amazing. You're pushing a button and damage is applied instantly. I especially enjoy using laser weapon. It allows me instantly switch between different ranges and I don't need to worry about reloading. Compared to this, missiles feels like you always have a network delay. For these runs, I used Retribution fitted with a Microwarpdrive to collect all caches as quickly as possible. This fit also has beam lasers to maximize range. I found this fit labeled as a T2 runner, so in future I plan to use the same fit for Tier 2 Abyss as well. With Tier 2 close range lens it has 325 DPS. But I only use those lenses for battleships. With long-range lens, fall-off is 48 km. This really helps shooting enemy ships while collecting all the cans. This fit is cap stable even with 2 armor reps running inside Electrical Abyss. As for skills, for this ship I have Mastery 4. All skills related to turrets and small beam lasers are at level 5, along with strong armor and navigation skills. As mentioned earlier, this time I aim to collect as many loot cans as possible. Usually my tactic was to equip longest range lenses and start collecting nodes and subnodes while shooting at whatever enemies spawned in the room, leaving bioadaptive cache to collect last. Once I cleared all enemy ships in the room, I stopped chasing the remaining bonus loot cans, grab the main cache and proceed with the next room. With this approach, I ended up collecting loot from about 90% of all available cans. There was a tricky part to this process at the beginning. Using Microwarpdrive often made me overshoot loot cans or bounce off the walls, forcing me to turn around and approach again, wasting valuable time. To optimize this, I learned to disable Microwarpdrive at just the right moment or even stop the ship entirely at specific distance so I could slow down right next to the can. It took some time to practice, but I think I got pretty good at it in second half of the runs. Usually, I would disable Microwarpdrive when I was 20-25 km away from the can at full speed, and stop the ship entirely around 10 km away. However, speed clouds would still throw everything off, and I spent too much time adjusting. As for the combat part, this fit easily handles most of the rooms. You move fast, so you are hard to hit. At the same time, you can shoot back from far away. And you have 2 armor reps. Let's talk about some specific rooms with more details. Drone Battlecruiser Tessera. It's still the most dangerous room for me. Yes, it's easier to handle in this ship compared to my exotic worm fit, but it can still deal a lot of damage in just a few hits. A couple of times it brought me down to half hull. With this ship, a good tactic is to engage from a long range and maintain a high angular velocity when up close. Marshal. The first time I got Marshal room, it was a close call. It uses a long-range missiles. about the same range as my beam lasers or even more. My usual tactic for these runs of looting and attacking simultaneously didn't work. My reps could not keep up with incoming damage. The tactic for fighting Marshal should be approach and focus it first, then collect the loot. Drone Battleship. Drone Battleship is slow and rarely follows you. Even with my longest range lenses, I often couldn't deal any damage while looting. It also has a ton of EHP, so looting the room first and then killing it takes too long. In this room, I usually collected only the closest scans, and focused the battleship using Tier 2 short-range lens. Devoted Knight. I don't have any specific tactic for this room, just the usual, high angular velocity and decent range. Stay alert, it can deal a lot of damage. The good thing is that laser weapons do a part of their damage as EM, and Devoted Knight has most of its EHP in shields, which have EM hull. I stored the loot from every 10 runs in a separate container. In the first 10 runs, I wasn't yet collecting all available loot, so the total was only 68 million ISK. If we exclude that batch, the approximate value per 10 runs ranges from 75 to 90 million ISK. Compared to my exotic runs, where loot per 10 runs ranged from 55 to 76 million ISK, we can see a significant increase in value. Loot from bonus scans is a bit of a lottery. Sometimes all the bonus scans together are worth less than 200,000, while other times a single bonus container can be worth over $1 million. I had some runs where the main cache was worth about 1.2 million ISK, and the value from the bonus scans were around 2.5 million ISK, more than double from main. So far, it seems that collecting all cans was a very good idea. Let's put everything together. The total estimated value is 811 million ISK. Filaments value is 94 million. I thought I was luckier this time, because I got 3 expensive Tier 4 filaments worth a total of 26 million. However, from exotic runs, the total value is 101 million. I looted more of valuable Tier 3 filaments there. I earned 469 million from red loot and 220 million from materials. These categories highlight the main difference between looting all cans versus only the main cache, since bonus cans drop only red loot and materials. Compared to my previous 100 runs, I estimate that around 145 million came from bonus cans, not bad at all. Note that I am using current market values, as the estimated value of materials has changed since my last video. The estimated value of mutaplasmids is about 19 million, which is significantly higher than what I got from exotic runs. However, to be fair, I shouldn't include the Gravit mutaplasmid I looted this time, as it's quite rare to get one from Tier 1 Abyss run. Without it, mutaplasmid's value drops to 14 million, which is still double compared to what I earned from exotics. I'm also keep tracking the number of Tier 1 filaments I got back from these runs. This time it's 248. So let's have some final calculations. I've spent 12 hours, 44 minutes and 13 seconds in the Abyss during these runs. Let's round that up to 13 hours to account for preparation time. At this point you might suspect that the final results are not as impressive as they seemed. The total estimated value is 811 million, plus around 50 million ISK from 2 glorified large cap battery mutaplasmids BPC, 25 million each, and an additional 13 million ISK from ship blueprint copies, 8 million from Vedmak, and 5 million from Kikimora. That brings the total to 874 million ISK. Divided by 13 hours, that's approximately 67 million ISK per hour. To conclude my little experiment, going for all bonus kinds, even in a fast microwarpdrive frigate, is not worth it. Sure, I could have optimized my runs, completed them faster, but even if I had saved an extra hour, the ISK per hour would only rise to around 72 million. In comparison, my exotic runs without bonus scans, adjusted to current prices, yield about 78 million ISK per hour. If we assume that without looting bonus scans I'd spent the same amount of time as I did in exotics, we can subtract 145 millions from the total value. That will give us 729 million divided by 9 hours will result in theoretical 81 million ISK per hour. To be honest, I was hoping for the better results, but in hindsight, I should have predicted this. The runs definitely felt much longer. In future Firestorm runs, I am planning to collect bonus scans as well, to have another dataset for comparison. This time in the end of the video I also want to include a summary table of my overall progress in Tier 1 Abyss so far, with loot categorized by type and feat expenses. That's it for today's video, thank you for watching.